You're listening to BBC Radio Scotland. It's Connie McLaughlin with you until noon today. On the phone line, we were talking about migraines. Thank you so much for everyone who's got in touch with us. I'm going to go through some of the texts throughout the programme because we've got so many of them. But keep them coming in to me, 80295. And also, if you do suffer from migraines and maybe you missed part of the phone in, you can just go back and listen on BBC Sounds because there was so much insight from some of the medics we had on, and also just hearing other people's experiences of it. You might think to yourself, yeah, that's me, and listen to what they did. So thank you so much again if you got in touch with us. Coming up between now and noon,
there's something I have to tell you. Why aren't you saying anything? I'm engaged. You've only known this man for 6 weeks. That's not enough time. If he comes between me, you and Taylor Swift being friends, I will divorce him.
Cast members of the new TV series Dinosaur will be joining me this morning to explore sisterhood, friendship and romance through the eyes of an autistic person. Also, you better smile. Surgery. If you've got a tooth or a gum issue, or you'd like some advice about anything dental related, you can get in touch right now on 80295. And
when the disease gets really, really bad, you have to undergo surgery to basically remove your colon and then live with a stoma bag. But that is actually better than living in a great deal of pain.
That's TV personality Louise Thompson. She had a stoma bag fitted following her battle with ulcerative colitis. She's been talking a lot about it on social media. We're going to be finding why it's time maybe to celebrate the stoma. Plus,
we always got Asda because we can park in that parent and child bit that fronts at shop. And with my mum, they don't put an age range on it, you might as well.
Oh, this might get you talking. That was comedian Peter Kay there sharing his thoughts on parent and child parking spaces. Does it grind your gears if you're one with a little one and you see someone else dinking in front of you and thinking, right, where's the child? What are the rules surrounding them, and also should parents have special permits? Keep the thoughts
coming. All the conversations that matter.
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We're talking about migraine, as I was mentioning earlier, and I just want to read this text out. I've had migraine since primary school, probably even earlier than that, before it was diagnosed. I'm 40 now, and the older I get, the more they're of an inconvenience they are for me rather than debilitating. I tend to get 2 to 3 a month, and they also tend to be within a couple of weeks of each other. As of today, I've had 8 in 2024. The first sign is the aura, the flashing lights that we've been speaking about, but an indication of how bad it's going to be is what side the aura starts on. They tend to be worse if the aura starts on the right hand side, and it can affect my speech. I take sumatriptan nowadays for the first sign of the migraine, though I think its effectiveness is fairly minimal for me. If I can get to go anywhere, I'll try and have a lie down for an hour, and hopefully the aura will pass. Then it just feels like a headache and nausea, sometimes mild, sometimes strong. Everyone in my immediate family except my dad, got 3 female siblings, has been affected by migraine all of our lives. My kids are 7 and 5, but I think the elder one gets them as well, judging by the way she describes how she's feeling, that she's not very well. So it just shows you that it can impact people depending on, doesn't matter your age or, it seems to be, it can affect anyone at any time. So thank you so much for getting in touch. There's no name on that. 1850 80295 is the best way to get in touch.
When I come home, hey,
Dinosaur. She's a huge part of that. But you're making me laugh because you're talking about numbers, and you know that I forget the text number. I've got to write it down. I'm like, don't confuse me anymore. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
Right, well, I'll tell you exactly what's happening while I do that. Right, we're talking, as I say, about the new BBC series Dinosaur. It's a show that explores the coming of age of young girls through the eyes of a person with autism. It follows Nina, played by Ashley.
That's me.
An autistic woman in her 30s who adores her life, living with her sister and best friend Evie, who's played by Kat Roney. Hi, Kat.
Hello, good morning.
I really wish you were in the studio beside us here.
Me too. I'm very sad not to be there with you.
I know, I'm sad too. You've had your world turned upside down in the show when Evie announces that she's engaged to a boy that she's only known for 6 weeks. That's the sort of premise, and we'll get into all of that. But explain to us, first of all, both of you. Ashley, you first, about what is Dinosaur? How would you sum it up? How would you explain it in your own words?
I've just seen Kat on the screen.
I know, love your hair. Wow.
Dinosaur is about a woman called Nina. She's a paleontologist. She's funny. She's a good laugh. And our sister Evie turns up out the blue and says, oh, by the way, I'm getting married to this TikTok advertising exec who I've only known for a couple of weeks, and Nina is not having any of it. Also, Nina's autistic. I keep forgetting to say that because I don't introduce myself as like, I'm Ashley, I'm autistic.
Enchantée. How much is that like the part of what this show is about, and how is that apparent throughout it? Talk to me about that.
I think it's apparent, but I don't think it's what the show is about. It just happens to be something that makes up her personality, that makes up who she is as a person. Like anybody with any neurodivergency, it's not who you are, it's just a bit of what you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I very much do know what you mean. Kat, how would you sum up Dinosaur?
Dinosaur is, I think it's like a love story basically about these two sisters, and it's quite chaotic. It's very wholesome, but it's just really sweet. It's like a really cozy watch, and I think you can really like feel the love. I think we all had a lot of love making this. We all loved each other. It was a really safe and exciting set to be on, and I think that really comes across. Did you two know each other before?
No.
So how difficult is that then to create that relationship? Because when you're on screen like that, right, there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
That needs to be something that feels authentic. So how did that work? How did you actually sort of bring that or create that chemistry together?
We didn't, it just existed. We did a chemistry read where they brought in a slew of Evies, and I think Kat was near the beginning of the day, and it was just apparent from the moment we met. That was that.
Kat, what did you? Yeah. Did that feel the same for you?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't say yes now, aren't you?
No, honestly, it was like soulmates. I mean, that chemistry read was so fun and felt just so natural. And then we met up for some lunch in Glasgow and have a bit of an explore around Glasgow, and we realised that we both love Taylor Swift, and we sang Cruel Summer in the streets of Glasgow, and from there I was like, oh yeah, she's my sister.
That obviously had to be part of the show then, in some way, shape or form.
100%. 100%.
That is part of the clip that we just heard there about Taylor being mentioned. Does she feature a lot?
Not as much as I'd like, but she does feature a bit. And I'm not saying I put it in there in the hope she'd see it and say, let's be friends, but maybe.
Well, there's still time, obviously, because I know she's got a lot of time in her hands.
Oh, aye, hunters.
Yeah, loads. What, because you're the writer of this as well.
Yeah, one of the writers.
One of the writers. What were you hoping to get from it, and how close to your own? It's always that thing about like you put some of yourself into what you're writing about, but is this something that you can sort of recognise?
Oh, for sure. I think that when you tell stories about things that maybe are difficult to tell, the easiest way to do it is through honesty. So nothing that Nina experiences is something that I haven't experienced. It's all very much through my own life experience that I've been able to write that character. And I think that if I tried to step outside of that, it would have felt inauthentic. So I wanted it to feel real. And the thing that I wanted most from it is for folk to be able to watch telly and go, that's me. Do you know folk who've watched Sex and the City and never identified with any of them, to be able to go, oh, now I see myself. And we've already had a load of messages from people in America who watched it on Hulu, and that's exactly what happened. Is people who felt unseen now feel a wee bit more seen, and that's a great thing.
I think one of the phrases was Nina feels a bit like an unmasked autistic person. What does that mean?
Women specifically with autism are really good at masking. But to be fair, that applies to all neurodiversity. But we're very good at hiding it. We're very good at putting on a good front. And Nina kind of lives her life to the opposite to that. She lives a life where her autism is completely accepted. Therefore, she does not have to mask.
What does that feel like in terms of from you writing her, being her, and almost having the freedom to just let that be how it is?
Oh, it's mad liberating. Oh, it was so good. I wish everything was like that.
Kat, you're smiling along.
Honestly, I just absolutely adore Ashley, and I think, you know, I met her at the beginning of this process for me, but I also feel like I really saw her grow as an actor. Like, I was just totally in awe of her every day. I mean, she is a total star and a total natural, and you know, I remember conversations on set of Ashley saying, oh yeah, I'm not an actor, and I'm like, oh no, you are, like, beyond that. So
was it difficult to go into that role of, because I did this thing very recently, and it's nothing like this, right? But it was a little cameo on something, right? I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but it was my first little sort of like peek into that world, and I was like, oh my God, I'm used to being in here, and I'm used to asking the questions and when being that, but it was really nerve-wracking because you felt a wee bit like an imposter, but because you're so used to being also in a seat like this and you know, comedy and everything else that you do, what was it like trying to wear this other hat?
It was, first of all, I've had imposter syndrome my whole life, so I'm used to that. That's fine. I have it every time I walk into BBC Pacific Way. But it was very weird because up until now, most of my jobs have been what we call factual entertainment. So it's me standing in a cow shed going, hi, I'm going to milk 47 cows. And then that's that. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to learn lines. As me. As you. Just me.
The line learning, by the way. Oh my goodness. How do you do that?
We learn lines weird. I learn lines by shape, and Kat does the same thing. So it's like shape of paragraph fits in my head.
Is that something, Kat, that you've always done, or is this a new thing that you're? Because honestly, that blows my mind when I was seeing it. Sort of, you know, the amount of information that you've got to take in, deliver it, then just basically chuck it away.
Yeah, no, it was something that I realised at school. I think I did, like when I was studying for exams, and then any job I've done, I can basically, I mean, it's not photographic memory, but I can see the lines on the page, so I know exactly where the page turns, and I can literally just picture it like a little screenshot in my head.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Well, if it works, that's what I say. If it works, then long may that continue.
Also, if we don't remember our lines, we go, that's not fitting. Can we change this?
I tweak that a little bit to something that I can just remember. A lot of ad-libbing going on, which is good. Greg Hemphill was in it as well. What was it like working with Greg?
Oh, it was a dream. I love Greg Hemphill. He came to my school when I was 18 and he brought scripts from Still Game, and I didn't fit in. I went to a private school in the south side of Glasgow, and I think I was the only girl who worked on a chippy. And he asked if anybody wanted to come up and read a wee bit of script, and I put up my hand and he said, what's your name? And I said, Ashley Story, and I heard all the rugby team going, Ashley Story, behind me, and it was a horrible wee moment, and I read my script and I got a huge laugh, and Greg turned to me and he was like, if you want a job when you leave school, kid, I'll get you a job. And it changed. It was like for a week I was a rock star in this school where I was the lassie who smelled a chip fat, so it was a big deal for me.
Did you remind him of that?
100%. He said, thank goodness I wasn't horrible to you.
Did he remember it? I mean, did he remember it? Yeah.
Well, I've brought it up to him repeatedly throughout the years, like, mind you came to my school and you were nice to me, Greg, mind.
But then he's probably thinking, is that something I actually remember, or because he's been told it so many times, it's just one of those memories. Right, okay, it starts on Sunday.
Yep.
Yes. Kat's nodding her head along. What would you say to people if they're thinking, that might be for me? How would you encourage them to watch it?
Open your eyes and watch it.
Absolutely ringing endorsement there. Kat, any better from you?
I'll try and say something really profound. Honestly, just enjoy it. I think it's such a beautiful watch. I normally can't stand watching anything that I've ever done, and I couldn't. I was so excited to watch it, and it's just so warm and sweet, and I think you'll have a good giggle.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that good?
That's good. I'm glad we brought Kat along for that. That was a special moment there. Kat, I'm really looking forward to watching you in it. Kat Roney there. Thanks for popping up on our Zoom. Nice tulips, by the way. Tulip game is strong there. And Ashley, thanks so much for coming in. Ashley plays Nina and is also one of the writers of Dinosaur as well. It airs Sunday, 14th of April on BBC Scotland, and then BBC Three from Tuesday, the 16th of April. It's also on BBC One from Friday the 19th. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's crappy and it's bad. Sometimes it snows, sometimes it rains. It's really gone quite mad. But Miles is here with all the team to get you through the morning. Unlike those other crappy shows, they are so flaming boring. The Chris Moyle Show. BBC Radio 1.
You're listening to BBC Radio Scotland between now and noon.
You better smile for me now. Smile for me now.
Andy's back for Ask the Dentist surgery. If you've got anything that you would like to ask her to do with your teeth, right, whether it's you, whether it's a family member or someone you're trying to convince to go to the dentist and maybe they're just not up for it, 80295, or you can give us a call right now, 08085 92 95 00. We're asking if it's time to celebrate the stoma bag, right, after TV personality Louise Thompson. She was revealing on social media that she has now been fitted with one following her battle. She's spoken about it so much on her social channels, about her struggles being in and out of hospital. She has had a really terrible time over the past sort of 10 years or so, and this is culminated in this bag being fitted. So we will hear exactly what it means to someone who's had the same thing happen, and I guess just what it's like to live with a stoma bag. Right, it is 10:24.
Got something to say? Text 80295. Standard message rates apply.
Mornings on BBC Radio Scotland.
And it is Ask the Dentist today with our resident dentist, Dr. Ambi Giabalin. Morning, Ambi.
Good morning, Connie. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. I'm really good. It's been a busy old morning, and I'm sure it's going to be even busier after 11 o'clock this morning when you'll be here answering all the questions that people have got, dental related or anything to do with just the sort of general teeth area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yes, exactly. Me too. Right, before we get to the main surgery, it was a really interesting story connecting your dental health to colon cancer.